Man, I just feel bad, honestly. What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome to the Jonathan Dearman Show. Breaking news, President Biden just finished his first press conference since the big debate. And his attempt here is to show that he still has the mental fortitude, the cognitive ability, the liveliness to continue on as president another 4 years. And upon the very first question, there was just some issues with it. Let me go ahead and show you the very first question and his response. I'll let it play in its entirety, and then we'll come back and talk about it right after.
Mr. President, your political future has hung over the NATO summit a little bit this week. Speaker Pelosi made a point of suggesting that your decision on whether to stay in the race was still open. George Clooney and a handful of lawmakers have called on you to step aside. How are you incorporating these developments into your decision to stay? And separately, what concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one, the fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again. Secondly, the idea, I served in the Senate a long time. The idea that senators and congressmen running for office worry about the ticket is not unusual. And I might add, there are at least 5 presidents running or incumbent presidents who had lower numbers than I have now, later in the campaign. So there's a long way to go in this campaign. And so I'm just going to keep moving. And because, look, I got more work to do. We've got more work to finish. There's so much, we've made so much progress. Think about it. Think about where we are economically relative to the rest of the world. Name me a world leader who wouldn't want to trade places with our economy. We've created over 800,000 manufacturing jobs, 1.5 million jobs. So things are moving. We got more to go. Working class people still need help. Corporate greed is still at large. Their prices, the corporate profits have doubled since the pandemic. They're coming down. And so I'm optimistic about where things are going.
This was supposed to be the press conference where he's coming out and showing that he still has the mental fortitude to be president another 4 years. And obviously it didn't happen. The Democrats are really in a tough spot here. And it's looking at this point, it's looking like President Trump's probably going to win and be president for another 4 years at this point. I do want to mention that right after the debate, I had said that my thoughts on whether or not President Biden would stay in the race was about 60%, just my own personal thoughts. About 60% sure I was that he was going to stay in the race, and about 40% I thought were the chances of him dropping out. Then it plummeted because he came out and seemed very, very sure he was going to stay in the race.
Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race. I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
However, it seems that the squeeze from the donors and the celebrities now and the Democrats that are coming out saying that he's going to or should step out of the race, it's seeming like it's taking a toll on him, because although he said he's going to stay in the race in his answer, it felt softer than at the rallies. It felt like there's some doubt in there.
Are you thinking that way about how the next 2 weeks go? Will that affect your decision, or are you fully determined on running in November as the party's nominee?
I'm determined on running, but I think it's important that I allay fears by let them see me out there. Let me see them out. For the longest time it was, Biden's not prepared to sit with us unscripted. Biden's not prepared to, anyway.
Obviously, that answer in and of itself was not a strong answer, but here's where I'm at. If I had to guess, guys, I'm going to call it. I think he's going to drop out at this point. I know he's saying that his resolve is there, but I'm seeing breaks in the resolve, and I'm seeing that he's already softening, and the pressure's, it's because of his performance at this press conference. The pressure's not going to lighten. It's going to strengthen. I have no idea how he could possibly resist all the pressure that he's going to get to drop out from his own party, from people that would typically support him in the race. And so I'm calling it. I'm not like positive on it. Just if I had to guess, if I was a betting man, I'm going to bet he's going to drop out at this point. But the Democrats are in trouble. They really are, because at this point, it seems Trump's going to win in a landslide. And even if they get a new candidate, the hope is still really small. It doesn't appear that a new candidate would even be popular enough to beat Donald Trump. The only candidate that it looks like probably could be is Michelle Obama, but she doesn't seem interested in running. And so I think the Democrats have a major problem here. I think that's why they're panicking in so many ways. And with all that being said, guys, I would love to know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all at the next Jonathan Dearman Show. Peace out.